Every winter, my family would rent a cabin up north, far from anyone else, to escape for a few days. It was usually relaxing, but this year was different. On the second night, a storm rolled in, isolating us even further. I remember sitting by the window, watching the snow pile up when I saw something strange. It was a figure, standing far off by the tree line. I thought it was an animal at first, but as I looked closer, I realized it was a person, motionless, barely visible against the snow. I tried to tell myself it was just a lost hiker, but as the hours passed, they didn't move an inch. They just stayed there, staring at our cabin. The next morning, the figure was gone. I felt a strange relief until I went outside and saw footprints in the snow leading right up to our window, and they weren't mine. Someone had been standing outside, watching us. That night, as the storm continued, we heard footsteps on the cabin porch. Slow, deliberate steps that stopped right by the door. I held my breath, praying they'd go away. But then, the door handle rattled. Someone was trying to get in. We stayed silent, huddled in the dark, as the rattling continued. Finally, after what felt like hours, it stopped. But just as I started to relax, a quiet whisper came from outside, right by the window. "Let me in." We never went back to that cabin. I don't know who, or what, was out there, but I've learned not to go looking for answers. Some places are best left undisturbed. Winter nights in my small town are usually peaceful, with snow blanketing everything in the quiet. But one night, as I looked out of my frosted window, something unusual caught my eye. I should have turned away, but I couldn't stop watching. It started with a knock at my door, a slow, deliberate knock echoing through the silent house. At first, I thought it was my imagination. Who would be outside on a night like this? I ignored it, thinking maybe the wind had thrown something against the door. But a moment later, it came again, this time louder, more insistent. I crept to the door and peeked through the peephole. There was nothing, just the empty porch and the snow piling up outside. I laughed at myself, but as I turned to walk away, the knocking started again, rapid and loud. My heart skipped a beat. I swung the door open, ready to confront whoever was there, but there was no one. Only footprints, clear in the fresh snow, led from my door into the forest behind the house. My curiosity got the best of me. I bundled up and followed the footprints into the trees. They went deeper and deeper until they stopped, right in the middle of the woods. I looked around, but no one was there. Just then, a voice whispered my name from behind me. I spun around, but there was only silence. Then, as I turned back, I saw a fresh set of footprints, leading right back to my house. I rushed back, heart pounding, and bolted the door behind me. I never saw the visitor again, but to this day, every winter, I still hear those same knocks, as if someone, or something, is trying to get in. It was one of those freezing, endless winter nights, and I was home alone, staying up late watching TV. Around midnight, my phone buzzed. I thought it was a text, but when I checked, it was a missed call from a number I didn't recognize. I shrugged it off and kept watching my show. Minutes later, the phone rang again. Same number. I hesitated this time, feeling a chill creep up my spine. It was late, and I couldn't think of anyone who'd be calling me at this hour. I declined the call and went back to my show. But then it rang again, and again. Each time the caller would hang up after one ring. Now I was spooked. I turned my phone off, hoping that would end it. Just as I relaxed, my landline, an old, rarely used phone, started ringing. I picked it up, my hand shaking, and whispered, "Hello?" There was silence. Then I heard a faint crackling sound, like someone breathing on the other end. "Come outside," a voice finally said, low and hoarse. My blood ran cold. I dropped the phone, my heart pounding in my chest. I ran to the window, looking out into the snowy darkness. A figure stood on the edge of my driveway, watching my house, face hidden in shadows. The figure didn't move, just stood there, staring up at me through the window. I backed away, feeling my phone vibrate on the table. It was a text from the unknown number. "I see you." The next day, I changed my number and never answered another unknown call. Sometimes it's better not to answer at all.